Sorry. I just wanted to see what happen if I try to stream in landscape. So the primary message that I'm getting for Aquarius, hey y'all, welcome to this new calendar year. Um, Welcome to chapter 1 of this new cycle, in which you have this undeniable magnetism. You know, it's almost as if you doused yourself in some magic potion and now everything that you ever desired is en route. And the potion being your alignment, right? Your alignment with, you've reached a new energetic level. And so now the things that you are in alignment with are just going to be flowing into you and connecting to you. And I feel the need to say that, you know, we have to remain aware and conscious of the other things that will attempt to connect themselves to you while you are ascending. They don't have, you know, necessarily ill intent. However, it's just that they see where you are and where you're going, what's happening for you in your lifetime. This is where you have many opportunistic people or energies coming your way. And again, they're not always negative or ill-intended. It's just a lot of them will see what you can offer for them. You know what I mean? So there's always something when you ascend to a higher level, whether that's just a promotion or, you know, whether your relationship goes to the next level, there's this residual effect. I say residual. Yeah, there's this residual effect of attracting more and more energies, kind of like a moth to a light, you know. So I see you as this big fish in this pond, and there's all these other organisms in the water who want to attach themselves to you. And this is only an issue if you allow yourself to be barricaded, you know, by all of these things, all of these different things pulling you in all these directions. This could be, you know, just offers, all these different projects and things being offered to you, and so many things coming in at once that you're not as productive as you could be in your own endeavors, or even in, it's like even you might find yourself stagnant, not able to move at all because of all of the things that have, or all of the people, projects, things that you have agreed to or made contracts with. So I get the feeling that as you journey into January, there's a need to really take your time and assess connections, offers, you know, projects that you want to put your effort into. Because there's a place where you are headed and the gate is open for you. And if you become too bogged down with these other projects or things, and I get the feeling that these are not your own. These are, you know, people who see you as valuable, who want to have your insight, who want to, who seek your insight, who want you to take part or partner with them on certain things. And that's beautiful. You know, you'll just have to decide which ones are the ones that serve you and take you closer and closer to where this gate is open for you already. Let's see what meditation we have here for Aquarius, January 2019. Okay, digestion. I assimilate the good in life and make it true for me. Before I finish reading this, that's the other message, is that some of these things that are attempted to attach or that are coming into you may really they could present some type of blockade, and they could come in the way of influences, someone saying, well, are you sure that's the right thing? Or are you sure this? Shouldn't we do it like this? Or shouldn't you do this? So I get clarification, verification, validation. So it's like, if you can understand or recognize that you're the big fish in the pond, and that a lot of these opinions and things are coming to you, they can easily attach and halt your progress, is what I'm saying. Okay, so I assimilate the good in life and make it true for me. I digest life with ease. I assimilate, digest, and eliminate life perfectly. So again, perfection is not the key. Forward moving is. My cells and organs know exactly what to do, and I help them do their jobs by doing my job of eating nutritious food and thinking clear, positive, loving thoughts. For every part of my body, there is a mental pattern. The stomach is the part of me where ideas are digested and assimilated. When new experiences happen, I sometimes have problems assimilating them. And yet, even in the midst of a big change, I can always choose the thoughts that glorify my most essential and eternal being. I am a divine, magnificent expression of life. It's beautiful. So, as you really integrate the idea of how magnanimous you truly are, whether this is in your job, or your work center, in relationships, even in your family unit, if you can really begin to integrate the vastness of who you are in your circumstance, in your situation and environment, then you will see that as these influences come to you, you're ready, you're easily navigating them. You're not allowing them to create blockage between you and these gates that are open for you. And what I wrote in the note, in the caption, or not the caption, in the title, undeniable magnetism. However, when I wrote it down on my paper, I wrote undeniable optimism. So, okay, so your mindset is going to be ideal about your magnetism is high right now. Like you're highly magnetic. So when you're there, you recognize that when your thoughts are set on, when you're having optimistic thoughts, then you're drawing in things that match that optimism. When you're having lower vibrational thoughts, then this is what you're attracting. So one thing's for sure is that you are magnetic. That's not deniable. It's undeniable. But with that comes the responsibility of cultivating your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your outward projections to ensure that you attract in the vibration, in the highest vibration. You want to make sure that you're staying in the highest vibration so they continue to attract those things. Yeah, totally in the vortex. You just have to know how to work the vortex for your highest good. I hear, and the good of all involved, of humanity, is what I hear. Aquarius. What do we have for Aquarius? All of Aquarius showing up. Chapter 1 of 2019. One. I hear one, like Ace of Wands. A lot of times I see cards, the tarot cards, when I'm thinking. So, when I think of one, I think of a beginning of something, or a resurgence of something. So One of Wands or Ace of Wands being a renewed vitality, okay, or a renewal or a cleansing in what it is that you are attracting. So maybe for Aquarius, you could have just come out of this chapter of attracting low vibrations. Once you've mastered that idea, you're like, oh, when I think this actually happens. Or my environment is proof of my mental state or my internal state, right? And so the new vitality is the shift into attracting this over this, okay? For a lot of you, that's love. That's love and romance. Yep. Yeah, right? So, Aquarius, chapter 1, 2019. Let's see them. How are they showing up? Last shuffle. Thanks. Yes. If I could show y'all these petals in this bowl right now, this is exactly what the Devil card represents for me. Those things that attempt to attach to you and bind you to the old mindset, into the old cycle. It's almost as if there are energetic cords to certain processes and thoughts and things like that, that you've really been attached to. They are almost, you've always believed them to just be part of who you were. These thoughts, these behaviors, these patterns. And because you thought that, of course, you always were so aware of that in your environment. So if you felt like someone was being negative or judgmental or harsh, it's almost as if you're coming to this understanding that that's because that's who you had owned yourself to be. That's the role you had owned in your life, the energy you had carried for so long. So showing up in January, I feel as if, it's like you're turning your back to the flames of that, to the things that have been caused by all of that. And so the number 15 reducing to 6 says to me that you're balancing and allowing things, even like taboo things about your nature, things that you often kept hidden for fear of non-acceptance. You are allowing those to have an equal part in your being. Some of us will have our self that we present. I'm a teacher, I'm a youth advocate, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the organizer of this, and this. And then we'll have that, because we are that person out in the public eye, we don't share those other parts. We don't share because we feel as if it conflicts. However, I feel that this is a balancing act and integration of the idea that both can exist. Both can exist. So you're showing up and you're giving your shadow just as much consideration as your light. Things that you once believed or had such depression, I say depression, but such anxiety over, okay? I hear monkey mind. I don't know what that means for you guys, but I think monkey mind is when it just jumps around from thing to thing to thing to thing a lot. So, and then the Lover's card is out for you too. So 6 and 6, 6, 6 and 9 are the numbers here. So this is definitely divine masculine, divine feminine energy coming into balance within you. If you felt as if you needed to fulfill one role over the other, you didn't understand the value of them both playing in tandem. And you're now walking into this understanding. I think you're seeing with new eyes these other facets of yourself and able to see them. For some, it's just interrupted, but for some, it's as if you didn't realize that some of the things that you were into, some of the things that you like, are widely accepted in certain circles, and you just hadn't found yourself in that circle. Um, And so I feel as if you're making the conscious choice after a whole lot of turmoil that was, you had to process through it, but it seems as you come to this place in chapter 1 of 2019, you're finding better balance between these different facets of self. You got some Gemini energy here, which, that's often two-faced energy. So deciding what face you want to show is where that monkey brain came in. You had to really juggle different aspects or facets of self to maintain a certain image. And I think here in this month, you are almost changing your signature, okay, and allowing a coming together of these different aspects. How are other people seeing you? Oh, okay. How are these same cards coming out? Okay. Other people are seeing you taking on a new idea about what balance means. I think people see you people see that you have often been reluctant to come into even partnerships, commitments. I think this is a change in what you felt a commitment would be. Almost is like you were always questioning if things mixed. I get that same feeling. I get people are seeing you as someone not as worried about fitting in. That's the Temperance card and Judgment together, right? So it's almost as if, they know that some people have seen you feeling as, because you're taking on this new persona or personality, or you're adopting it, it's almost like people, if they didn't think you thought you were goody two shoes or better than before, they definitely do now. I get this feeling of like, this one toe in the water, one toe out of the water. So it's really just this whole, people are asking you, what line do you want to walk? What do you want to do? Who is it that you really want to be? And you're saying, I am who I am at any given moment. I'm bored with putting on this face as if I'm okay with things the way they are in my life, and I'm not. The 9 of Coins and the 4 of Cups. Discontentment with self-image, the way you are seen, the way you see yourself, the way you present yourself. There's something there, because you realize that living, and see, these people see you as tired of maintaining a facade or going with the status quo. Yeah. To fit in. And I keep getting that energy to fit in to whatever you have agreed to do. So if you, like I say, if you're youth mentor, then it's almost like you can't tell people that you have this or you don't feel comfortable expressing some taboo interest that you might have. Does that make sense? So it's like suppression of certain things that you are overcoming, and now you're allowing these things to come into balance inside of you. Yes. So again, Five of Swords comes out again. This is, I shuffled these cards. But the Five of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and then the Three of Cups are out to say that these words, even coming in, energies coming in to validate or invalidate what you are now doing and who you are now allowing yourself to be. Because this other self that you were carrying around, I feel this person has three selves. You have, that's crazy. You have the lower self, the middle self, and the higher self all coming in together to play as a team. No longer do you feel as if they have to separate. And he's wearing orange. So it's almost as if whatever your sacral, any shame, any sexual interest, things like that, that you often kept hidden and you didn't really speak about. It was a hidden thing. It's almost as if you're allowing, you're going to integrate. You're finding much more happiness with just allowing all of these facets of yourself to be. These are all three people, all three bodies, lower body, middle body, and higher body, okay? All coming together. All dancing together to create more balance within self, okay? I heard lashing out. When we lash out, it's often just like it's a indication that something in our internal world is off, right? And we're lashing out because our higher self doesn't know how to express what our middle self and our lower self is experiencing, okay? Whatever discomfort lower self is experiencing about not fitting in, about not being accepted, and then the middle self about not being able to produce or create or whatever. Your higher self, being the three chakras, crown, third eye, and throat, not being able to fully process and then verbalize or express what needs to be expressed regarding what the lower bodies are experiencing. So can we see career and money, love and romance, and spirituality for Aquarius in January of 2019? I do get the feeling that there is definitely a big magnetic pull, it's trying to pull you back into, so if these are judgments and opinions that are swirling around you now that you've kind of come out, for some of you that might be actually a message of like your sexuality. If you've come out, there are certain energies trying to pull you back into shame and whatever, rather than allowing you to go into your freedom. Move freely into your future. All right. Let's look at money and career. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Good things, good things. Stability, yes. For some of you, you're now having the confidence. There's this whole energy of having the confidence to move forward with something that you probably always wanted to do, but just didn't feel as if you were stable enough to make that move. And whatever that fear was is actually what was causing that that third party energy, but because I always feel as if that's ego. You know, fear is always interfering, and it's always a third party to stuff. So, you know, there is a project um, or accomplishment that you have reached. There's accomplishment. That's what it is. You've reached something, some level, some promotion, some sense of stability, and in career and money, and you're feeling as if this is one of those things where I can now rest, I can relax in this new level of comfort. Okay, something that you maybe not have experienced before. For some of you, if you are in it, we're interested in some type of personal endeavor or entrepreneurial endeavor related to what you're currently doing or what you were once doing. I think that you're moving into it or feeling a sense of accomplishment because you've made that move. Yes. 10, 3, 14, 10, 3, 13, 4. So whatever this is has definitely brought you a sense of stability. Could be a creative project or your own spin on something, a creative spin on something that you were doing before. Either way, I think that whatever doubts and fears you had, you know, the light is shining on you now and almost pulling you up into its being. You're realizing that if you were in a work environment and not feeling as valued or your opinions not being taken as seriously as you had liked, you're being taken into this place where you are being seen as the sun, as the source of light, as the source of inspiration in a situation. As a deep well of wisdom and knowledge and creativity. And this is an invitation. I do feel as if you might receive an invitation to be a part of a team, and you just have to ensure that this team will allow that they see your light and that that's why they actually invited you in, so that you could actually, so that they could support you in your ideas and your energy that you put out. Let's look at love and romance. Justice, 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords. Okay. So could potentially be dealing with a Libra. There's a lot of air energy here. So could potentially be dealing with a Libra. I want to say Libra moon too. So like if they're more air oriented in their chart, then this is who I'm talking about. I hear that, you know, you saw this person as completely opposite of you. If you tend to be a more practical thinker, I mean, because you could be Aquarius and just have a whole lot more grounded energy, okay, based on programming and things that have been taught to you about what's supposed to be what. So you were embodying more earth-based energy, proof, things that you can see. This other person could have been a more spiritual person. And so you doubted whether or not this was something that you could, that would be balanced, that you could have balance in. I get the feeling that this person only wanted reciprocity. They only wanted to know that they weren't going to be hurt and abandoned, and both of you were actually mirroring each other in this situation. The person wanted to know that they wouldn't be judged, that they would be allowed to be who they were. And you, in January, I feel the sense that whatever this painful, I feel that some of you may have lost somebody, or maybe saying goodbye, you know, maybe burying a friend. Maybe you're healing from a loss this month, you know, actually seeing the light now, coming back to life after being down, maybe dealing with some depression for a while. I get the feeling that there's things that you couldn't say. Um, Things that you wanted to say. You might be saying them now to bring things to balance. On the other hand, I think that you could also have said things, expressed things, and maybe they were misunderstood. And so now maybe there's some healing taking place there. Yeah, totally. At the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands. So something about some type of miscommunication that caused imbalance in a situation could potentially be brought back to balance in January. Yeah, these numbers come to 6, which equal give and take, reciprocity, people doing what they say they'll do. Um, and then just weighing out the heart, um, how you truly feel with how you think, weighing it. Do they match? Do they align? What causes them to be out of alignment? For some of you in the month of January, dealing with another partner, you may be realizing that that the interaction that you have had with this person in the past was just a drop in the puddle of things that you needed to address, or this other person needed to address. There's definitely a positive outcome coming in the situation, though. I get the feeling that a positive outcome comes after a hurtful situation, after you have healed from some type of loss, I want to say. Or perceived loss, or something that you didn't think that you would win and you did. Especially if it comes to like a legal battle or something like that. So looking at spirituality, yes, okay, Aquarius. Yeah. You are Ace of Swords, Page of Wands, King of Swords. I get that you are embodying, or there is a new sense of inspiration, a new source of inspiration. There's enlightenment happening. I think what Archangel Michael is helping you to heal. Archangel Michael, often depicted or often associated with the King of Swords, is helping you to heal any thoughts that you may have had about sexuality, romance, your personal being, who you are as a person, as a creator of your reality. Archangel Michael is helping you to heal. If you've lost someone, then they're here. If this is someone that you felt would be in your life forever, and this loss hit you really deep, then that's something that you're being helped with. I do get the feeling that there is new inspiration flowing into you, connected to what you believe, what you have faith in. Some of you may even have had thoughts and fears about commitments and moving into like relationships, committed relationships, because of certain things tied to, your sexuality, or your thoughts about what it means to live a stable life. I think that there's something about, the need to choose a path, and then coming to the understanding that with creative inspiration, I can merge these paths, or I can walk both paths simultaneously. 3 and 3 here with the King of Swords. So it's like what you're moving into the future building, what you're building as you move into the future is more set on, is first of all, it's influenced by the spirit realm. Everything that has happened to bring you to this ideal, you got heartbreak and celebration together. So all of those things, the things that have hurt, the things that, yeah, you're really looking back at the end of the year, or the last year, and just really seeing, looking at the ups and the downs, and realizing that they all brought you healing. They all helped you to close out some chapter. What energies do I get here? Libra, Leo, I want to say Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Yeah. Something definitely plays out in your favor, bringing you higher awareness of self, of what you desire, what you want to create. I hear some people saying that they actually didn't really know whether they wanted a family or not, and they come to the understanding that they do, that any fears that they had about that was tied to something that they had experienced themselves. Maybe growing up, any judgments that were placed on them. They just didn't want to perpetuate that same cycle. All right, so we're looking at what's coming, what we're leaving behind, and what's coming. Opportunities for new vitality, new passions, or opportunity to follow your passions. Some of you may come into money, and it allows you to pursue a creative endeavor. I say creative, but something that you're very passionate about. Move forward, you know, with that support from the spirit realm, that blessing, with that blessing from the spirit realm, almost, that allows you to move forward towards something that you're passionate about. Okay, what we're leaving behind and what's coming. Leaving behind secrets, leaving behind perhaps a Cancer, but leaving behind preconceived notions about things, leaving behind the need to keep so many things covered. You know, I think as you accept self, then you don't really feel the need to cover so many things anymore. Yes, it's almost as if you're celebrating or uplifting whatever parts of you you've often kept hidden, right? Bringing light to them, showing them off. You're showing these different aspects of self off, things that, you know, this could even be skills and things like that that you often just kept suppressed. You know, I don't get the feeling that for some, you know, you were ashamed. You just didn't know how these things would be accepted. So you're leaving behind this idea that I have to hide parts of myself, my own feelings and things like that, to be successful, to be accepted. You're having new ideas about what it means to be accepted. Are you accepted by a person if you've always hidden these parts? Will you ever truly feel accepted if you haven't divulged certain parts of your being? And I think that that's a thought process that you're healing or leaving behind. What's coming in January? Yeah. Higher insight, higher perspective and perception about the things that have what's caused you so much turmoil. And you just realize that there's been a path in front of you this whole time. And when you looked at these things that you were keeping secret, you saw the value in them and how they could actually take you forward. Okay, see, this is the moon here, up close and personal. So you really did get up close and personal with these things, and then just allowed yourself to follow what they were showing you. Okay, there was a path being drawn by these things that were often hidden by you. These hidden things were revealing a path into your future. Yes, it was like something was waiting for you the whole time. I always get the sense that this is really like abundance that is being held for you or waiting for you that is not going to really go anywhere, but it's just as if, you know, you have to go take the seat. You have to go own what it is that's being shown or what it is that's being offered to you. This is two palm trees too. So, you know, this is spirit knowing. There's the two pillars, the two palm trees, the two staffs, you know, two pillars again, you know. So before, you know, your pillars or your path was held up by these hidden things. You know, I say held up, but it's like what you had built your life on was based upon keeping these things hidden, right? And now what you're seeing is that there was a whole new brighter path waiting once you pushed them open, allowed your truest self to emerge. And then all that was promised, all that you ever felt that you were entitled to, even the things that you didn't think, but it's created a sense of you're connected now with higher self. You've accepted all aspects of you, and now you can move forward. Any lack of acceptance of self is now turned into extreme acceptance of self, and you're now a magnet for support and higher influence. Cool. Let's close you out with a Psalms card. Let's see what we get here. What do we have for Aquarius, month of January 2019? Aquarius, January 2019. 149 and 4. And for me, that really feels like a success. You know, it feels like a wreath, a goal reached, a ideal integrated, it's like a badge. You know, like if you're in Boy Scouts and you did something, they give you a badge, and that you're just basically collecting badges, right? There's this is Isis or High Priestess, or the Hathors, really. High Priestess, creative inspiration. So some type of success here. Let me read the actual verse for you. Psalms 149 and 4. For the Lord delights in his people. He adorns the lowly with victory. The song, O go down, Moses, away down to Egypt's land, and tell King Pharaoh to let my people go. You will escape. The African-American spiritual Go Down Moses tells the story of the Exodus, the escape of the Hebrews from slavery in Egypt. The enslaved Africans who composed the words of this spiritual believed that the power who freed the enslaved Hebrews would free them. In the words of the 7th stanza, the Lord told Moses what to do. Oh, let my people go. To lead the children of Israel through, oh, let my people go. The God of Exodus, writes Gustavo Gutierrez, the father of liberation theology, is the God of history and of political liberation. According to the psalmist, this power secures justice for those who are wronged. You are among the many who are oppressed by the few. You are overworked, underpaid, under vacation, and shackled by sinister debt. Know, however, that the power of powers is engineering the escape of humanity from the slavery of consumerism. While I was reading it, I really saw someone really invested in their position, in their work, in their company. And I talked about those thoughts of things like imprisoning you and keeping you tied to this thing instead of allowing you to move towards your freedom. And I really get the feeling that that's the oppressor. It's not man or it's a system. It's the system or the idea that if I don't continue this thing, that I will fall behind and I will fail, okay? That this thing, this job, this company, this group, this friendship, this family unit, if I separate from it, then I won't know and I won't have what it takes to get to where I need to be. So this is what we're being freed from, Aquarius. This is what you're being freed from. Any lifestyle that you thought you had to live in order to be accepted or to have success, is not just not it. You're releasing yourself from that ideal. You're being freed from the mental prison that is inflicted upon us by these systems. They pointed out debts. They pointed out debts. That right there sings to my spirit, because many people stay in marriages, in from family units, jobs, because of some reliance, some earthly reliance on this system. The freedom comes when you realize that whether you have $100,000 of debt or whether you have $100,000 in the bank account, you can still be shackled to these systems. You can still be shackled. So it's just your choice to free yourself one way or the other. Free yourself from the idea that one brings success and one doesn't. I hope that makes sense. With that, I close your reading for January. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe, like, share, comment, and I hope to see you back for chapter 2 next month.